Jerry Palucci, founder of Smart Parents, joining us this morning on air. Jerry, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
All right, so let's begin, Jerry, with the premise that social media is essential in kids' lives, but it is a double-edged sword, true?
Absolutely. Getting a Facebook account now has become like a rite of passage for kids, like a Sweet 16 used to be in the past. There are so many different statistics about this. I mean, one of the things is that 95% of kids from 12 to 17 are online, and 80% of them are on social networking sites now. So there are huge numbers of kids involved with this.
And it really exposes them to a lot of dangers that maybe aren't always apparent to them because they might be a little naive at that age.
Exactly. Kids really don't have the appropriate amount of suspicion that they should have. They see a profile photo, a name, and a gender, and they think that is that person. They don't understand that there are people out there with very bad intents and that are willing to misrepresent themselves.
Jerry, my son is 13 years old, and I think a day after he turned 13, he asked to have his Facebook page, which I was the one that registered it, and I created the password, so I can go on at any time onto his Facebook, sign in under his name, and check out what's going on. But I'm assuming that sometimes that might not actually be enough.
Yeah, it's really not. And strangely, I don't think parents know this, but it's against the Facebook terms of service. What will happen with kids is if, for instance, they're being cyberbullied, kids will take that down as soon as it happens. So you may not see it. And the frequency at which working parents can really check their kids' accounts, it's actually quite rare. And kids are so addicted to Facebook these days that they're generating huge amounts of information, much more than parents have the time to keep track of.
And it's a rule. Is it not one of the rules that you must be at least 13?
It is. There's a law called the COPA law, the Child Online Protection Act. All websites have to comply with this. So if they're actually actively marketing to kids under 13, there are a whole set of restrictions that apply. So all of the sites that kids are joining now, Facebook and Twitter and Google+, have a minimum age of 13.
I think parents are horribly uninformed or unaware of what their kids are doing. I think that we've kind of established that right now. And as an expert on online safety for kids, your company actually offers some tools that can help moms and dads in that regard, right?
Yeah, we do. My company's called Smart Parents, and what it does is it addresses the two core concerns that parents have, which is the safety of their children and the behavior of their children online. You know, when we were kids, or when you were kids, I mean, I think the primary threat was what, dinosaurs, Mike?
Oh, man.
That's sorry. Funny. I like that.
But, when I was a kid, you would play outside, and parents would look out the window, and they would see what you were doing. And then when you were at school, teachers would watch you. But now, when kids are online, really nobody's watching. And there's nobody there to say, hey, this is what's appropriate. This isn't what is appropriate. And so what we do is we loop parents into those decisions so they can provide their guidance and they can head off, potentially embarrassing or really potentially threatening or dangerous situations for the kids.
So can they, at sort of a glance, Jerry, look at some kind of a dashboard maybe and know within a couple of minutes what their day's activity has been with their kid on Facebook?
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It checks your kids' accounts for any number of threats, cyberbullying, being approached by strangers. It actually looks through all of their friends and rates them on how suspicious they are. I received an email from a friend here that has a child in Bishop Fahey High School down in Massachusetts, and the principal sent out an email to the entire parents of the student body and said, hey, if this person is friends with your child on Facebook, get rid of them. It's a scam profile. They build up a relationship with your child over a period of time, and then what they do is they blackmail them. And the way they usually do that is they get information on that child, and by information it's usually they get the child to swap naked pictures. So what we do is we look at all of the words that go in and out that your child says. We look at all of the pictures that your child is uploaded, tagged in, they've attached to an email, or they've received in an email, and we put them in a little film strip for parents to review, and we send parents email updates with those. So you're kind of always looped into the important things that are happening in your kids' lives.
What do you say to parents that are also concerned about just like what the kids are looking up online?
Yeah, well, there is a great site that parents should go to. It's called OpenDNS.com. What that does is it allows you to set up a filter on your home network that doesn't allow inappropriate material to even enter your house. That is very useful. So the laptop that your son has, the desktop computer your family uses, and even the iPad, if they're all using that connection, they'll all be protected from that stuff. Unfortunately, many kids have a mobile phone, and that has unfiltered access to the Internet unless parents have installed some kind of parental control on it.
Jerry Palucci is the founder of Smart Parents. We've got a link at WZID.com to smartparents.com. You can take a look and see all the things that Jerry has spoken to us about today. Thanks for some really good information today.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jerry.